All right, my man, state your name. Let them know you on Real Talk with Nick.
Named Santos Negron, coach, founder of the Puerto Rican Pro Legends. Had the honor of talking to my brother about the Knicks a couple of years ago now. This new chapter of the Knicks, what they're doing, young studs, good defense. I like their coach because he's a no-nonsense guy. He plays.
Let's start there. Being that you brought up Tom Thibodeau, right?
Okay.
Because not everybody's on board when we speak of this man.
Well, you know what? He's a defensive coach. And New York likes scoring a lot. Fans like to see us score, but I like to see us hold down people. I like to see us deny the ball to players. That's what we're about. If we look at our history of winning games or seasons, it was a lot of defense was involved. A lot of defense. You going back to Bill Bradley and them. Now you're going to Mason and Barkley. All those teams that made it to the playoffs and made it to the semifinals was, they had tough D. And then this is, to me, reminds me of that type of defense that they're playing nowadays.
How would you rate Tom Thibodeau as a coach? With all the Knicks coach that we had in the past, Red Holzman, of course, being the man who did it all.
I consider him on the top five. I mean, he won the rookie coach of the year 2 years in a row. 2 years. And like I said, he believes in defense. He believes in no nonsense. But then again, with the young players we got now, you could coach them about 3 years like that before they get tired and not want to listen.
Okay.
So what I'm looking at is next year.
Next year,
how they respond. But what they smart is they move some of the plays. You see how they move some of the guards and got new guards. That's for them to accept, Tom, the philosophy before they get too tired of it.
All right. Now I want to talk about the big talk, man. When we speak of players like Jalen Brunson, man, how important is Jalen Brunson to this team, man?
I think he's a missing piece, man. I think he's the one that everybody kept talking about what type of point guard you need, and that we're actually looking at the type of guard that we actually takes leadership role, slows down the game, looks for people, but got the heart of a warrior that when the game's on the line, he takes over. You know what I mean? And that's what you need. But he takes over with the attitude that he's looking for everybody too while he's taking it over. But he knows when to score. He knows what to do. I mean, it's going back to Villanova days, man. I mean, this kid ain't just learning how to play the game. He's been playing that way all his life.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of, and what I appreciate about it, New York can recognize a leader. Especially a point guard leader, since New York is all about point guards anyway. If you think about it, all the history of the great point guards come from New York. So if we don't understand his role, a lot of us ain't understanding the game of basketball the way it's supposed to be played.
Now it's funny you said that about that. He's a bucket point guard and he looks for people. If you was to rate that, would that be 50-50? Or is he more the other? But the reason why I say that
because of the team he got right now, he don't got a lot of clutch main shooters. Like Randle is streaky now. Randle is, for some reason, Randle's not playing the way his frame of mind was the whole year, where he didn't let them bother him. He was playing strong. Now he's thinking too much, and he shied away from the game. The way I'm seeing it, the last game, and it sat him down.
Yeah, he had an ankle injury.
Regardless, there's other ways you can win. It ain't always about scoring. You know what I'm saying? When you're a ball player and you're the man, and you're supposed to be quote the franchise. That team, you got the max contract. You and Brunson's supposed to carry the team when you're supposed to. That's why you get paid the big money.
So you saying Randle needs to play off the ball?
Got to play off the ball, and he can do other things. He's smart. He ain't no dummy. But you know what? You don't get the ball enough, and you start thinking you're the man. Sometimes it takes away from your game, the intensity of playing hard. And I saw that on him. He was running up and down. He was running full court, coming back to play D. He's struggling back. Come on, man. This playoff, man. Every minute counts. Everything you do is magnified. So, you out there playing.
So Randle can't use his ankle as an excuse?
Not for me. Not when you make it big money. I mean, there's other ways that you could... you can play to win. You don't need to be the scorer.
So you need that Willis Reed syndrome out of Julius Randle.
I need that. I need him to show that he's going to do everything he can to win. Not just, I'm not getting the ball, so I'm going to run up and down slow. And come on, man. It's playoff, brother. Let's get past this series and get ready for the next one. You can heal your ankle then. But until then, you got to play. You got to play your heart out, man.
What you think about R.J. Barrett, man, who been catching a lot of slack? Some say, he hasn't been the same since Jalen Brunson came on board. Some who team Barrett would say his role just changed. He's still giving you 20 points per game. So,
He's for me, he's a good guard, big guard, strong. He drives, is strong. Sometimes his jump shots, I have a question when he don't follow it. He looks at it from afar. And if he's a big guard, I'll be following all my jump shots because I have a chance to get my own rebound. Especially when he shoots his 3-pointers. He fades away and he looks at it. I'm old school. I'm an old coach. You shoot, you follow your shot, crash the boards. Let's all hit the boards. When we hit the boards hard, the good things happen. But I like him. I like his demeanor. He's got a strong heart. He's willing to go inside and do what he wants. His suspect to me is just his jump shot from outside. Other than that, I like him.
That's what he needs to work on?
Yeah, I think so. I think got to make it a natural, fluid jump shot. Sometimes if he's not set right, he don't have his arc. He misses a lot. But then, everybody has their own pattern of shooting. But when I look at the Knicks, I don't see a lot of jump shot shooters in the Knicks. I really don't. I see a lot of drivers, hard D, and then you depend on the key offensive players you got when they're down to seconds. That's why Brunson gets the ball a lot because at the end of the day, he's in the paint trying to get it the mid-range, or pass it off. He's not taking 50-footers, 30-footers that everybody nowadays want to be 3-point. He goes inside a lot, and he knows what he's doing. He's penetrating, drawing the defense to him. So he can hit the man behind the rover lane.
Do you think sometimes he's too unselfish? Somebody said that he needs to shoot more. Sometimes,
no, because if you had a team full of good shooters, I would say yeah, but you don't. I mean, you still got young kids learning to play the game the way the Knicks want you to play, and a lot of them are going through the first experience of playing the playoffs together as a team. So for me, I'm surprised that they're doing good. But I'm not going to play Cleveland, and Cleveland matches up with them real good. It's just a matter who's more hungry to play the game. And they did better, thank God, that Mitchell has been off the last 2 games, man. But that kid's a terror in Cleveland, man.
Oh, Mitchell?
Yeah, he was a terror. I think we should have had him back then, but...
I was about to ask you that. So thank you for bringing that up. Because you said when it comes to Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Do you still feel the same way about Donovan Mitchell playing for New York? Do you feel after seeing the way the series is going, do you feel like, you know what, we can move without him?
I think what happened with Donovan, he got caught up with the Knicks fans. The arena, that arena's a bitch. The Mecca is a bitch, man. If you don't know how the fans react, how we're one of the most intelligent fans in the world, where we can appreciate a good pass from a guy who threw the ball. And we can appreciate a good hustle on defense, and we're cheering it on. It's a difference than when he's in Cleveland, because New York is a sophisticated town of knowledge of the game. I think it overwhelmed him to see how intense it was for him, for him to see New York to play, and then they stay right on him. Man, he's shooting, missing. They're letting him know that. So I think it got into his game a little bit. I think trying to impress so much New York. He could have came in.
Right.
But at the same time, he's looking at it, damn, if I was here with them, look how it would have been. You know what I mean? Look at the excitement.
So do you think him knowing that, because a part of him I feel still want to be a Knickerbocker, do you think that could play a part in his performance where he's not giving it his all?
No, I think he's trying too hard. And what happened is when, there's a snowball effect. When you're hot, everything goes in. When you're thinking too much and you're shooting and you're not making them, and even you're making missing the ones that is automatic to you any other day, it's in your head, man. It's in your head. And I think he's more trying harder to show them, listen, this is what you could have had, but I decided to go this route. But,
okay,
I'm a serious ball player, but when you got young studs guarding him, throwing themselves on him, knowing that he's the man on their team, so they're keen on him. They're keen on him. He's one of the number one primary offense. So of course I'm gonna play off him. And I'm gonna play hard on him.
When I mentioned Obi Toppin, what come to mind, man?
He's maturing. You can see it. finally coming around. Like you know, like they said, for big man it takes 2 to 3 years to immaculate. This is coming his 3rd year. He's about ready.
So you just agree with the critics who say he's only good for fast breaks?
Nah. He's a high octane player. His game is running fast. Not mean that he can't play other ways, but his game, when he excels and he goes on a fast break and all that, he runs, he leaps, he's hard. But you start seeing him posting up down low. You start seeing him shooting jump shots in the corner. So he's trying to complete his whole all-around game. Hustle, hands down, he hustles. You know, he's not afraid to give it. He overjealous sometimes when he makes some mistakes, but I'd rather have a guy hustling, making turnovers than a guy who's not playing hard and not giving me his all. I'd rather have somebody that's going to make mistakes because he's hustling and doing his best.
Yeah?
Yeah, all the time, man. Because he's out there trying.
Okay, and as far as our big men, when we speak of
Bill Robinson and that thing, I think they complement to each other very well.
Hardestin and Mitchell Robinson.
To me, Robinson has shown that he belongs. He deserves that contract he got. Plays hard, doesn't catch his attitude. Got a little chip in his shoulder, but he ain't cocky. He just plays hard, defense. And then our backup center, he fits the piece. What we need. We need a hustler, challenger. He's not looking for the limelight. He's a bucket player. Take the bucket, pay a lunch in the bucket, and go to work every day. That's all.
When we speak of Mitchell Robinson, from what he's showing you, is he the top 5 center, top 10? Where you rate him as a center?
Defense, top 5. All around, he's in the top 10, but in the bottom echelon of that top 10. He got some big heads, some centers that can play the game strong. But he can win you the game. We just scoring 10 points. We're blocking 5 shots, intimidating the middle, getting rebounds. I mean, he's a good ball player. For me, he's mature, and he showed me that, his contract that he signed, he deserves that shit, man. Hands down.
Okay. Now I want to close out with my boy Immanuel Quickley, man. Immanuel Quickley, man. A lot of people thought he was going to get the 6-man award. He didn't get it. A lot of Knicks fans think that we keep getting snubbed, man. Jalen Brunson wasn't an all-star. Now, Immanuel Quickley ain't a 6-man of the year.
Yeah, well, think about it, man. I mean, we're one of the elite franchises, they say, but we haven't done anything for, 50 years? We don't deserve anything until we earn it. And Quickley, to me, is one of the big surprise. He's going to be a superstar, I think. He's not just going to be a star. Once they give him a starting role, he's going to take over. It might not be with the Knicks because he might opt his contract and want to play more minutes. But he's ideal with the Knicks right now. He's no fear, plays point guard when he's supposed to, plays shooting guard when he's supposed to, goes up the middle, looks for people. But at the end of the day, he got an upside on him that's unreal, man. Nobody thought he would be as good as he is. I didn't think he was going to be this quick. But he's showing that he belongs. Definitely belongs. I would like him to stay with the Knicks. I would like him to be a key factor down the line, but he's a commodity, he has a lot of value.
He has a lot of value.
Yeah, a lot of value, especially with the Knicks. Their management is a good management, man. These brothers know what they're doing. They don't talk a lot about what they want because that's like putting your cards on the table and everybody knows. But they have a good game plan on how they pick it. They getting young studs, matching them up with some good veteran players, but I'm just waiting for another 2 years to see how they really look. If they get a real big scorer, they're gonna be a terror to watch, man.
Okay. And Josh Hart, who I like to call the gorilla glue of the Knicks, who bring all the pieces together, man.
He surprised me. I didn't know him to be as well as he does. I mean, I wasn't looking at the West Coast that much when I do see them because I'm more of a college coach, player, viewer because for me the NBA changed a lot too soft for me. But he's old school, man.
Does he remind you of an old player? I like to say Doc Rivers.
He reminds me of an old player. You know, he remind me a lot of Mike Reardon. Remember Mike Reardon when he was with the Knicks when they had he was like the 6-man, small forward.
Mike really?
Reardon, Roiagdian. He played with the Knicks when they at the tail end when they had Bradley, Cassie, and all them. He was coming off the bench, and he was like that spark plug that will light you up. And he will hustle, get you rebounds, and he's strong. Harsh does that, but Harsh is more athletic. Harsh, doesn't ain't afraid to drive, go down the middle. And then the last game, you saw every time he got the ball on a fast break, he wasn't looking to pass. He was going straight to the hole, which is what they needed at that time. You need someone that ain't afraid to get banged up. And good thing his hustle results into us getting loose balls, getting rebounds. But I don't think we should be getting it. But when you hustle, good things happen, man.
Okay, and this is the cherry on top. My man, you done missed the tournament out here in Harlem. All right, that's what you known for. And you came across a lot of great basketball players that could have went to the NBA, right? That didn't go. Who is the best street ball player, speaking of the old timers, that you ever seen play the game, man?
Well, to me, I call the royalty, the Harlem's royalty is Joe Hammond and Pee Wee Curtis. I mean, if you ever seen them play, I mean, yeah, the reason why the Pro Rucker got a big name because everybody wanted to play against them to see if they match, especially the pros. And they were eating up the pros back then, man. They were eating up the pros. I mean, Joe was humble and scored all the points on you, and Pee Wee just fast.
Now, you said Joe was humble, man. I'm going to have to play devil advocate with that. Because I heard some stories, man, and I heard that Joe Hammond bust Dr. J's ass coming late to the game.
Yeah, he came late to halftime.
Halftime. And I was also heard that he was warned that Dr. J was coming to the Rucker and told him get his game ready. And he said Dr. J need to worry about me.
But that was the way the attitude was back then, and Joe was right. Joe wasn't talking shit. He was talking fact, man. Joe is a student of the game. Joe knows the game inside out. Joe knows scientifically how to set up a big man, how to get you off balance. I mean, Joe studied the game.
Right.
He studied it from his own mentors, the Greens, all the big the Stiff brothers, all of them, Bob McCullough and them. He taught you. I mean, they all taught. He learned from the pros how to play the game. Isaac, from them. See, I mean, they're all his teachers. I mean, you don't learn from the original best, and he took advantage and learned it, and you see it on the court.
Yeah, now let me ask you something. What's more important when we speak of a game? Defense or offense? What wins games?
Points. The points to win game at the end of the day.
Now, it's funny you said that because I asked Joe Hammond the same question. And he said, although defense stop plays, the object of the game
score points.
Is to score points.
So you got to outscore your man, and you got to know how to do it. And Joe and Pee Wee, between them two, easy could get 100 points a game. Easy. That's how good they were. And I saw the practice at Millbank. I saw them play against some of the top teams when the Eastsiders came and all that. And that was the Eastsiders was Dr. J team with Vesey, the sports writer. That was his team.
So you saying that Joe Hammond was Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan?
Yeah, I would say that, and even a kid from the West Side, Ray Lewis, is another street ball player that they rated one of the best, if not the greatest. I think he's from Philly or West Coast, but Ray Lewis.
Yeah?
Yeah. Check his name out.
I heard of him.
He's one of the elite players. I mean.
So these players you mentioned it. Can they match up with Michael Jordan? Joe Hammond and Michael Jordan.
Well, why I look at that? I count every era different. I don't compare.
Listen, let's have an imagination.
All right.
When Patrick Ewing played against Michael Jordan, if Joe Hammond was on the Knicks and he had the opportunity to go play for the Knicks,
yeah, well,
if he was on the list, let's wish on the star. Let's just have some fun. If he was the point guard on the Knicks, would it be a different outcome?
We don't know till we see it on the court. But I tell you one thing, Joe handled his own business. I tell you that. Michael was one of the best defensive players. That would have been a good matchup to see. Really, that shit would have been history. And I'm gonna tell you, Joe would have done his shit too, man. Hands down. Even though Michael was nice, Joe was nice, just as nice. And Joe played. Joe played against anybody, and he ain't afraid of nobody. See, that's the difference between people like you. Same thing with Michael. Michael didn't give a fuck. He bust your ass. That's the way Joe was. But Joe wouldn't say nothing. He just bust your ass. That's the difference. And he was always humble about it. So after he bust your ass, he walk out. The fans are adulating him, shaking his head. But he ain't talking shit about it. You know, he just bust your ass. That's his game.
Okay, now I'm gonna bring it back on home, man. Knicks play tonight against Cleveland.
Gonna be a tough one.
We up 3-1. Is this it? Is we gonna close it out, man?
I'll tell you what. For me, it always starts at the opening minutes of the second half. If the Knicks stay close in the first half, like close, they have a good chance to sweep it. But we're going to Cleveland. Cleveland didn't like what happened in New York, so fans are gonna go crazy. Mitchell Donovan's gonna go have what I think gonna have a great game. He ain't sleeping on the last game. He's getting ready for this game. So I think it's gonna be a tough one. I think it's gonna be close. Cleveland might, depending on how we respond to them in the second half of that third quarter for me, first 5 minutes, and then how you close out the third quarter. If you close out with you losing, but you're in a single deficit, you're in the game. You need to go in and out. Remember, we stop them on offense, and we play our defense the right way. It's gonna be a hard, tough game. We should take it, but we play that Cleveland, and Cleveland got, and Mitchell is upset. He's upset, so I'm looking for to have a great game.
All right. But when the smoke clears,
Garrett too's another bad motherfucker on that team, man. You know.
But when the smoke clears, you see the Knicks are victorious.
Sure. If it's a hard, tough, close game, I see the Knicks winning.
And that's what New York want to hear. That's what we waiting for. And that's what it is, man. I want to thank the OG. I call him Mr. Basketball, man.
No, it's my pleasure and honor, my brother. Whatever we can do. Right. You got to remember, we always represent New York. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, man.
And that's what it is. We out. Peace.